Well, earlier I spoke to Scottish Conservative leader and Murray MP Douglas Ross, and I began by asking him whether, given the circumstances, he would like to see new borrowing powers for the Scottish Government.
Well, interestingly, with this example, the Scottish Government have accepted this money has been made available, and it's been made available up front. The United Kingdom Government ensured that there was that guarantee of funding available. And the biggest question is, why have the SNP not spent this money supporting businesses and jobs across Scotland? We've heard from the Federation of Small Businesses and the Scottish Chamber of Commerce that this money is vital and it needs to get out now, and it should have been out before now. We've seen Scottish Government schemes that aren't delivering to the businesses that need it. And the money is there from the UK Government, unprecedented support throughout this pandemic. We just need to get the SNP to spend the money out into the businesses who need it right now.
But if you were First Minister, wouldn't you want borrowing powers for Scotland?
We've seen the strength of the four nations of the United Kingdom coming together to protect 1 million jobs in Scotland through the UK Government's furlough scheme, to see the VAT reduction, to see the huge increase in money available to the Scottish Government to fight this pandemic and to support businesses and jobs. So I think we've seen through this pandemic what the UK as one can do to support every part of the United Kingdom, and that's what I want to see. But we need to get that money that has been delivered from the UK Government to the Scottish Government out to the businesses who are crying out for it, who are in desperate need of this support. And I've been saying this for months, but this money is in the SNP's coffers and they need to get it out to the businesses to protect the jobs right across the country.
OK, commenting on social media today, you've been talking about the return of schools, and you say there's been an astonishing incompetence from the Scottish Government over this. But given the U-turn by your party, by the Prime Minister down south over the last 24 hours, hasn't the Scottish Government comparatively acted more competently and more swiftly than the UK Government?
Well, the words I used on social media were actually a quote from Professor Lindsay Patterson, who has done a substantial amount of work on education in Scotland, and is someone I think we have to listen to, that the basis for the SNP moving to online learning, they have not learned the lessons of the past few months. There is now a postcode lottery of ensuring that people and pupils have the support they need to learn at home. And, I've accepted decisions are being made very rapidly by governments across the country, and sometimes have to change decisions at short notice to deal with this new, more virulent strain of coronavirus. But we also have to ensure that here in Scotland, that we look at what the Scottish Government are saying and they say they are offering to pupils, and where there are failures or where there are failings within that offering, it's right that opposition politicians call that out and seek a better result and better performances for our pupils who will now be learning at home until February at the earliest.
We're all getting to grips with more changes to our day-to-day lives. I wanted to come to you on professional sport in Scotland. We know you have an active part in that in your role as a referee, but do you think that it's right that professional sport is allowed to continue, given that most of us, the general public, are having to get to grips with the most draconian measures?
Well, I understand the concerns that people have of professional sport continuing while others are facing these severe restrictions. But I've also listened to people who have said during this difficult period, and particularly the first lockdown that we went through, the isolation that they suffered was relieved slightly by being able to watch sport on television. So by getting football and other sports at the professional level back up and running gives many people who are forced into the home and to stay at home something to concentrate on, something to discuss online with friends and family, etc. And it does give people a focus in these difficult weeks and months ahead.
And that was Douglas Ross, leader of the Scottish Conservatives, speaking to me earlier.